Mr. Chair. I think it was because I was looking so eager to speak. And I just want to acknowledge that we really are privileged to have such a wide range of colleagues in the House tonight, in particular within the troupe of Muppets. We've had Wardoff and Statler, and David Bennett's particular speech earlier in the night, I have to say, has given me a new appreciation for his role as Beaker from the Muppet Show. But I do think that listening to some of the debate this evening, I have come up with a new title for this bill, and it relates specifically to the fact that in all of this discussion that we've had in this House to date, on this side of the House, we've been very careful to make rational arguments as to why this piece of legislation is unnecessary. And all I've seen on that side of the House is repeated generalisations and character assassinations to a degree that I have not seen in this House before. So I think we could almost just call this excuse for character assassination bill, excuse to generalise about unions bill, excuse to run down a woman I have great admiration for, Helen Kelly, I think has received unprecedented attacks in this House unnecessarily, and for which I think we'll be revisiting the nature of some of those from that side of the House in weeks to come. And all of that has been given extra leverage by this bill. So I think this bill is a front. It's a front for a whole lot of arguments that side of the House wants to run, which are entirely unnecessary. And why are they unnecessary? Well, we've already had on this side of the House, time and time again, the repeated nature of repeating the facts of this scenario. We on this side of the House have acknowledged from the beginning this could have played out differently. Both sides of the argument could have played things out differently. We've been fair and acknowledged that. What has that side of the House acknowledged? What has that side of the House acknowledged? Instead, we've had simplistic statements about how Labor, for opposing this legislation, is anti-film, is anti-New Zealand. And in fact, David Bennett went one step further. In fact, David Bennett tried to claim that the Labor Party purposely tried to stop this movie from happening. So I would almost say an excuse to give rubbish speeches bill, because that's exactly what we had coming out of David Bennett. To imply that Labor did not want this film to occur was absolutely outrageous, and I really think was an insult to your own intelligence. That's the biggest compliment I'm going to give you tonight. Then what really was this about? If we knew, for instance, so far I'm currently discussing, Mr. Chair, the title of the bill, Excuse to Give Rubbish Speeches Bill. If we knew on the 18th of October that the specific issues around the employment relation issues that were being brought forth by the union had been resolved 10 days ago, then what is this bill really about? And this comes to the heart of the title debate, because once we discover the true meaning, we can give it the appropriate title. And I think my colleagues have already rightly pointed out that this is a trial period for something that the government wishes to extend beyond just the film industry, because in fact the film industry don't need this. They don't need it. The actors from the outset have said we want to be independent contractors. That's what they want. And they have never denied that. So why then does this bill, why then they wanted to, I was explaining to Mr. Brownlee, because even from over here I could understand what was going on. They wanted to discuss terms and conditions. That's right. They wanted to discuss terms and conditions. They did not want to be considered employees. They never did. So that this means that this proves that this bill is the unnecessary piece of legislation bill, completely unnecessary, which means we have to look for true motive. So when we are looking for true motive, where should we look? Well, what is the benefit to someone of calling someone an independent contractor rather than employee? You don't have to scratch too far to figure that out. The actors know that they are actually better off being independent contractors because that is the nature of their work. But there are a number of other people who are involved in the film industry where it is a very different scenario for them. But why would you want to call someone an independent contractor rather than an employee? Because, of course, the requirements on an employer are very, very... Mr Chair.
Honourable David.